Hi everyone, it's Abby with the Bead Place and beadplace.net. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a quick and easy fun pair of riveted earrings using seed beads and wire wrapping techniques. Now all of the materials we're using today can be found at beadplace.net. The tools we're using today are a flush cutter, 2 chain nose pliers, a hammer, a 4mm rivet setter. Now this rivet setter actually has a little concave area at the top that allows us to keep the rivets domed as we set them. You'll also need either a bench block, an anvil, or a rivet setting kit like we have here. The materials we're using are 2 of these bracelet blanks, 2 rivetables. We also have 2 2-part compression rivets. Now you'll notice that these are 2 of 2 different pieces here. We've got the top ones here. These are the female end of the rivet. They kind of look like a mushroom. And then this is the male end of the rivet. So these 2 pieces together make 1 rivet. We also have some 26 gauge wire. You'll need 4 feet in total. A pair of earring findings, 2 medium oval jump rings, 2 small, and then some size 8 seed beads. Let's get started. We're going to start out by placing the male end of the rivet so that the flat wide side is at the bottom and the pointed cylinder is pointing up. Then we're going to start to stack our components. So the next component is the bracelet blank. If there's a little bit of a curve in the bracelet blank, face it this way. It'll just make it a little bit easier to hammer things. So put that right through the bottom hole of the bracelet blank. The next step is to stack the rivetable and then the female side of the rivet. Sometimes when placing the female end of the rivet, you'll need to use your finger to just kind of push it down into place. Our next step is to center the rivet in the middle of your bench block or your anvil and hold the rivet setter so it's straight up and down on top of the center of the rivet. Then we're going to take our hammer and strike the rivet setter. Now, if your rivetable can still move pretty freely around, there's a good chance that the rivet is not set properly. So what I like to do is to whack it a few more times until it either is pretty tough to twist this rivetable around or until it can't move at all. Now we'll repeat this step to create the second earring. One tip that I can share with you is that as you're riveting, make sure that the rivetable has not twisted so that it doesn't match the other one. So if that happens, just kind of adjust it into place and keep hammering. And now on to the seed beads. Start by cutting a 2-foot length of 26 gauge wire. Hold the wire on the back of the earring so that it ends about halfway up the earring. Then grab that end with your thumb. That's going to allow us to keep the tail end tucked as we wrap the wire around the blank. So hold that with your thumb and then bring the wire around to the front and start to coil on. So we're going to be wrapping about 5 times to secure it. Now that we've wrapped the wire to secure it on, we can start adding beads. Now, depending on your personal preference, you can either run 4 or 5 seed beads across the front of the earring. Personally, I like the look of 4. So string 4 beads onto your wire and slide them down. Now we're going to want to make sure that these seed beads land on the front of the earring. So hold them on the front and then wire across towards the back. Wire around to the front again and do 1 empty pass. Bring it around the back and then add more seed beads. So we're going to string 1, 2, 3, 4. Bring them down. Bring them across the front. Make sure they stay on the front. Bring the wire around. Have an empty pass. And then 4 more. Now, the number of rows that you do with these seed beads is totally up to you. I like the look of 5 rows, but in our workshop we had some people fill the entire earring. I kind of like to see a little bit of the metal, but it's totally up to you. You can get super creative with these designs. We had some people do stripes and some people do checkers, but just make sure that your wraps are fairly tight. If they're not, that's not too big of an issue. I'll show you a little trick in just a minute to tighten it so that they stay secure. So this is my last row, and now what I'm going to do is do my empty wrap and then continue wrapping around until I've done 5 wraps. And on these, I like kind of a messy organic look to my wire. You can do them straight and uniform if you want, but just kind of do what suits your tastes. So now that I don't have much wire left, I'm going to turn the earring around, and I'm going to take this wire and I'm actually going to try to tuck it down into the back of the earring here where these wires coil. Now, it's not always going to be easy depending on your wiring, but just try your best to get it through at least half of the wires. Feel free to use your pliers to help you, kind of poke it down if need be, or you can use your pliers to pull it out and then go back in and almost sew the wire down underneath the coils. Just do what works best for you. And as always, when working with thin gauge wire, you want to make sure to squeeze lightly with your pliers so you don't end up breaking it. Just pull it down as much as you can. If you can go all the way to the bottom, go for it. If you can't, no big deal at all. So once you've gone through all of the wires that you can, pull it really, really tight. And then we're just going to cut it flush at the last wire that it comes out of. Now remember to only cut that wire. Don't cut any of the coils. So remember how I said I'd show you a trick if your coils are kind of loose? What you can do is arrange your beads how you'd like them. I like them to kind of float freely, but you can do whatever you want. Turn it around and then take your pliers and find any of the wires that need to be tightened a little bit and just grab and bend a little zigzag into them. And so that's going to tighten the wires on the front. It's going to make everything a bit more secure, and it'll also tighten the tail end wires down so that they're less likely to pop out with time. So now that everything's tightened, I'm going to repeat these steps for my second earring. The first thing we're going to do is take an oval jump ring and use our chain nose pliers to open it. Now we're going to hook the oval jump ring into the empty hole of our bracelet link and use our pliers to then close it. Now we'll use our pliers to open the smaller of the 2 jump rings, hook it into the larger oval jump ring. Now we'll add the earring findings using the jump rings. Then we'll use our pliers to again close the jump ring. And repeat these steps to create the other earring. Yay, we did it! Becky, one of our staff members, made these really cool black, silver, and brass ones. She decided to use 5 seed beads across instead of 4. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below if you would use 5 seed beads across or 4 seed beads across. Which look do you prefer? There are lots of fun rivetable options at our website. Make sure to check the links below. Thanks as always so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up. Write a comment if you have any questions. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest too, so make sure to check us out there. And we put out new videos at least once a month, so if you like what you see, make sure to subscribe. We appreciate all of your support, and thanks for watching.